What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. I wanted to review the Steelers-Chiefs preseason Week 2 game that aired on Saturday night, but I had to work Saturday and Sunday, so I'm bringing you guys this review 2 days late. But I wanted to quickly go over the pros and cons and the disappointments and surprises of the Steelers-Chiefs second preseason game. Pittsburgh won the game 17-7, but the score is kind of irrelevant. Basically, we're looking at the people that really surprised us and let us down, and the players that have cause for hope and who might be starting where or playing in the regular season. I want to apologize for my fan in the background, but it's like super, super hot in here and I cannot breathe, so if you see me struggling to catch my breath at any point, it's just the hot air. So I've got a bit of a loud fan in the background, so I do apologize. But I've got to say, the biggest positive in the Steelers' offense and team as a whole so far this preseason has been James Washington. That guy looks like an absolute star. I know it's preseason, and I know he did this last preseason where he looked amazing all preseason, and then in the regular season he couldn't stay on the field. But this year feels different. He's doing everything right. His route running is better. He seems to have a year with the playbook now. He's lost some weight and put some muscle on. His hands look even better than they did last year. Everything about this guy just looks amazing. He had another big 3 or 4 catches in this game in the first half. A couple of big third down clutch catches. Just high pointing the ball. I mean, he's a deep threat. He's running solid routes. He looks strong. He's catching over the middle. He's doing everything you want a young wide receiver to do. And it seems like that year and that time spent in camp with Ben have really helped him mature. I think he's locked up the number 3 receiver spot on this team. Obviously, Juju is one. I think the veteran Moncrief, who didn't look very good in this game with 1 touch and 1 fumble. But Moncrief played 1 series, had 1 target, got a catch for a yard, then fumbled it. So he didn't look too good. But he's a trusted veteran. He's had a great camp. He's going to bounce back. I think he's the number 2. And James Washington is pretty much a lock now as the number 3, as the slot receiver. And James might even eventually come for the number 2 spot. But right now I think he's going to be the number 3. On defense, we had a couple of big standouts there. Obviously, guys we already know. Bud Dupree and T.J. Watt got so much pressure in this game. Now, they played in the second quarter, too, when some of the Chiefs' backup guys were in, so that wasn't as impressive. But they looked great in the first quarter as well, with all the starters and everything. Watt got several pressures. Bud Dupree wound up with several tackles and 2 sacks. So one of his best games in a while, even though it was preseason, and again, partially against some backups. But both those guys looked great on the line, got tons of pressure. Those were our mainstay standouts as far as the team goes. But offensively, quarterback-wise, once again, all 3 guys look pretty good. Mason Rudolph played, I think most of the entire first half till the last 2 minutes. He looked really good. No touchdowns this time, but led a couple of solid drives a little later on. I am a big Josh Dobbs fan. I am one of the few guys who think Josh Dobbs should be the number 2 quarterback on this team. I think he's still second best. His elusiveness is excellent. His footwork and speed are the fastest on the team. And yeah, he looked pretty good in this game until the 1 interception. He did have a red zone turnover, which is a big deal. That's his big downfall here. But a lot of guys want to see him go to number 3 behind Rudolph. Some guys want to see Bucky Hodges take the number 3 spot and have Dobbs be cut. But I think Dobbs' overall maturity and improvement from year 1 to year 2, and then he's played pretty solid in this preseason except for that 1 bad throw. He made a few nice throws, a few good third down conversions, and a few good runs with his feet to avoid pressure. So I like Dobbs a lot more than most do, even though this was not his best game. He was the weakest out of the 3 quarterbacks in this game, but I still think he's the second best overall. Mason Rudolph, though, looks like he's the clear number 2 at this point. He played with the starters today. I think he's going to back up Ben come regular season time. But again, both guys played pretty well, minus the 1 turnover. Bucky Hodges came in with another late touchdown. Should have been 2. 1 was called back on an OPI. So he's been looking phenomenal. He's the best 4th string quarterback I've seen anywhere. He's going to wind up being a 3rd stringer on somebody's team because I don't think he's going to stay in Pittsburgh. But he looked good in this game as well. Really fun to watch him play. He's having a good time out there. Running back-wise, James Conner came in for a couple series and looked good. He looked like Conner usually does. Good sign. Jalen Samuels looked the best. He had a long touchdown run, 25, 30 yards. He had the biggest run of the day. He looked super elusive. I think he caught a pass or 2. He broke a lot of tackles. I just like what Samuels is doing right now. He's looking like the clear number 2. Benny Snell, for the second game in a row, I didn't see much out of him. I didn't really like what I saw. He's looking a little slow. He's not making a ton of cuts. He did make a few guys miss, but he's not making a ton of cuts, and he's not looking as fast or as strong maybe as I expected. And again, it's only his first 2 games of his entire career, and we're going to see plenty more of him. So I could be jumping the gun, but just so far, based on the brief footage that I've seen, I have not enjoyed him in there. I thought that Jaylen Samuels has looked far better in both the pass catching and the running. I think Samuel should be the number 2, and then bring Benny Snell in as number 3 running back whenever there are short yardage things. He had a couple of short yardage conversions in this game. He runs hard for the 1 and 2 yarders. So bring him in on goal line in 3rd and 4th and short situations as the number 3. Tight ends, Kevin Rader caught, I think, 1 pass in this game, but caught 2 more penalties, adding on to his fumble in the first game. He has not looked very good, so I don't think he's going to be on the team. Xavier Grimble did drop a big pass in this game as well at tight end. He has not been securing the number 2 spot. I think once we get the rookie in there to play every game and be totally healthy, I think he might be looking at number 2 just based on his physical attributes alone. But Grimble has not blocked very well, and he's not always caught the ball very well. So I haven't liked much of what I've seen from him in this either. Other receivers that have, first of all, Chuks Okafor had another penalty and allowed another sack where he got beat. So 2 bad plays from him. He had a bad first game and a bad start to this game. He did get quiet later on. He didn't have any problems later. But bad start to this game and a bad first game. So Okorafor is not looking all that great so far based on the brief time we've seen him. Receivers, Deontay Johnson looked pretty good in this game. He did most of his damage later in the game against the backups, but he's looking fast. He took a short middle of the field pass and did some damage on that. Caught a good touchdown catch that was called back on a pass interference call that was a really bad call, and then he caught another touchdown later on that was a beautiful catch. So he had 1 touchdown, should have had 2. He looked really, really good as well in this game. I think he'll be on the team probably as a return guy and a 5th or 6th receiver. Defensively, we didn't see a whole lot of guys stand out. Ola Adeni did not play in this game, so we saw Ulysses Gilbert play a lot more, and he didn't do a whole lot. Medikevich was all over the field in spite of getting beat on a couple of passing plays, but he did make a lot of tackles, which were nice. Ulysses Gilbert played better again later in the game. When he stayed in later, you saw an impact out of his, but we didn't see much of him play well against the starters. Didn't hear his name called much till the end. So solid game, but nothing special against the main guys. Brian Allen at corner has not looked good. He got beat on a few plays, was underplaying some coverages. I think he even had a penalty as well. I haven't liked what I've seen from him. Most of the linebackers in coverage have not done well. Spillane got beat on a few coverage plays. Didn't make as many splash plays or tackles in this game as he did in the first game. So Spillane kind of fell off a little bit. Gilbert fell off a little bit. Brian Allen fell off a little bit. Surprisingly, Artie Burns played in this game and played pretty well. I like what he did on coverage. Knocked a few balls down. Was all over the field early on in this game. It was the best thing that I've seen from him in a long time. Terrell Edmonds forced a fumble, which was nice. What else? Anything other big splash plays? They moved Mike Hilton. Got beat a couple times by linebackers in the slot corner spot, but when they moved him in the second half to safety, he made some big hits and some good pass deflections. So really good stuff out of Hilton in the safety, but again, it was in the second half against backups. But he played well at that spot. Mark Barron also made a nice coverage play at linebacker, as you'd expect as well. Devin Bush did not play in this game. So overall, good defensive effort from all teams. Saw a couple good things out of some of our starters. A couple of good solid rookies in there. So we still need to kind of shore up that backup safety spot. I think Dangerfield and Marcus Allen are going to hold on to those. Linebacker-wise, we still got some openings, but we're seeing good things out of Medikevich to get on this team. Ulysses Gilbert probably has a spot locked up, and obviously Ola is going to be a backup along with Chicolo. So we're seeing a little bit of what's happening there. Still looking for that 5th corner spot. It looks like that might go to either Artie Burns or Justin Lane, 5 and 6 maybe in there. So we'll see how that plays out. But what did you guys think? Who impressed you the most and who let you down the most? Tell me in the comments below, and I will come back next week with another Steeler review as we get closer to seeing who makes this final roster. Take care, guys.